Hi everyone, this is Deb with Four Seasons Crafts. So we're just going to get right into it. So I'm here earlier, obviously, right? You guys already know that. We are here for day, it's day 8 in our 12 days of Christmas. So we're in our second to last week. So I'm coming on earlier. My family is out golfing, and so I wanted to do this now, just so that in case they come back, I'll be able to spend some time with them. So we're just going to dive right in. I think our projects are a little bit more straightforward today, so hopefully you guys will enjoy them. So let's get going. So for our template card, for our sketch card, we are going to use this one right. Let me see if I can get that in there. Sorry about that. We're going to use this one right there, but we're going to turn it sideways. So it's kind of just a big square with a tag. So I'm just going to show you guys another way to do it, but we're going to start with that sketch. That's giving us our inspiration. So we're starting out with a piece of thick white cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and burnish this. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It is just beautiful outside. At least it is here in good old Lansing area. All right, now I die cut out a piece of this trim. It comes from this die that's in the set. And so one of the things you need to know about this die is it cuts this piece. It does not cut the edge. So it makes that the fringe stuff. But if this was on like a piece of 11 by 4 1/4 or something, you would still have that whole other piece that's still attached. So just keep that in mind. The other thing with this die too, I would recommend you run it through twice. It's just so intricate with all the little pine needles that it sometimes is a little difficult to get out. Okay, so this is in Old Olive. And then I took a piece of the designer series paper with the birds, and it's the one with the snowflakes on the back. Because to be super honest with you, I think they all start to look the same, but these are the ones you can cut out with the die. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this right to the front of our card. And then we're going to put this beautiful green right over top of it. So this piece is, okay, so this is 4 by 5 1/4. This is just a hair under. So when I put it in the paper trimmer, I lined it up still like I was cutting 4 by 5 1/4, but I just went a little bit left. So I just took like not even a 1/16 of an inch off. I just wanted enough so that it would not, stick out. Like if I tried to do them both exactly the same, I thought that could cause trouble. Anyhow. So I was lamenting over yesterday's all the little pieces I forgot. I was like, oh, great day. All right, so here we go. Oh, okay. Do you guys believe that? I literally cut that the wrong size. You know what? That's okay. We are going to improvise. It is, I hope I didn't pick up the wrong piece. I bet I picked up the wrong piece of cardstock, but that's okay. That's all right. Because I'm going to show you guys how you can fix that. I might have to run and grab a quick piece of, oh no, I have a piece of white. So what I'm going to do, we have this tag up here. So You know, I should just start. Oh, gracious. So let's see if I can. Oh, we can. Look at that. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to gently lift this up. And you guys, I'm going to take my snips and I'm just going to cut underneath it. And we're going to see if we can do it. Oh my. Okay, so this is 4. This might not be 4. It might be 3 and 3/4. Now I am, it is, it's 3 3/4. So I cut this at 4, thinking it was 4 by 5 1/4, but it's not quite. All right, so here we go. So much for our quick and easy, right? All right, so that's all right. Let's see if I can get under this. If not, I literally think I am going to scrap this. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. All right, we're gonna forego. We're gonna forego that, and I am going to go right. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab that cardstock, and we're just gonna make it again. I got everything that we need. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We have our piece of white. We have our piece of green, which is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So now we're going to cut out some birds again, and we are going to cut them at 3 3/4, and I'm just going to go again slightly under. And we're going to do it this way, though, because we can get that pretty yellow bird. So just a little hair under. And then I'm going to make sure it's 5 1/4. Now, do as I say, not as I do, right? I'm just going to put this right over top of this and make sure this time. Oh, look at that, you guys. I'm glad I did, because we're just a little off over here. So let's just make sure that is... Let's just make sure this is not just 5. Nope, it's 5 1/8. Okay, so we're going to cut it just a little over 5. Wow. Okay, so we're going to run through the measurements again. 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. 5 by 3 3/4, and then this is 5 1/8 by 3 3/4. All right, so now we can layer these together, and then we will put them on the front of our card. So when I edit this video, that will all be gone. You guys are like my test bed here. When I upload them to YouTube, sometimes I edit them. Sometimes I just leave them as they are. I'm gonna have to make like a whole blooper reel, right? I think I have enough. But isn't that pretty? Just the little green around it. Okay, so now we're gonna stick this to the front of our card. And let me just score this one. I don't think I scored it yet. Okay. All right, there we go. And now we're just going to adhere this to the front of our card, and then we're going to stamp. So the nice thing about this paper, and literally, if you don't mind fussy cutting, so many of these projects we've been doing, you literally could do, if you don't mind fussy cutting, because you can sit and cut those birds right out for those projects where we did that. And you don't necessarily need the images, although I do like them, I will say. Okay, now we're going to stamp our image. This is from the greetings of the season. It's all these different tags, which these we're going to focus on next week and make a whole bunch of fun things. So this one we're going to go ahead and do, I think, sending thanks and much love. So we're going to take this stamp and we're just going to stamp it in Memento Black. So we're just going to ink that up. Don't get too much. And I'm going to have to put my head over this a little bit. Try and get a straight shot. Ooh, that is pretty dark. Okay. So we are going to turn that right over and stamp on the other side. So I'm going to move this just a little closer to me, guys, and so I can get it lined up here pretty well. And that not super well. Okay. That's right. We're going to pick a side. I think this one looks a little better. But you know, that doesn't even look very good. Okay. All right. You know, I think we'll just take a piece of cardstock here and we will clean our stamp a bit and we will just stamp again. And we're going to switch to early espresso. I think I have so over inked the black ink pad. So we will, so we'll just use this one here. Okay. And we're just going to stamp it. See if we can get it straight. Oh, much better. Much, much better. So you guys will have to tell me if you've ever done that. Over inked your ink pad. I don't know. I think sometimes I think I don't have enough. And so I have a tendency then probably to just go a little overboard with it. So actually, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to flag the end using our kind of our little trick yesterday. And we'll just get that in the middle. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so a little different than we had planned, but that's okay. So if you remember our sketch, it was just a block and then it had a tag on it. So if we would have done it portrait, it would have looked like this. We just turned our card sideways and are doing the exact same thing. So that's the only difference with what we're doing versus what was initially on the sketch, is we're just kind of changing the direction. And again, it's not meant, we can follow it exact, or we can make it whatever we want. So I'm just going to put this right up here, our sentiment. We're just going to put it right on top. And then we're going to add some of our earth tones dots. And that will be that for this card. So let's take, maybe let's take some of these ones that are kind of almost like a little opaque, I guess. They look a little cream colored too, but I think they're super pretty. All right, get one more in there, and we'll put it maybe up here. There we go. All right, that is it, you guys. Yay, we finished it. All right, moving on to our next card. So we'll set that one off to the side, and then we are going to move on actually to our 3D project. This is pretty, it's already set. We're going to make a little mini, kind of like a little purse. So what you're going to need, we have all the pieces. You're going to need a piece of 3" by 11" designer series paper. And you want your pattern to go horizontal because it's going to wrap around. Then you're going to have a piece that's 3 by 5 and it's scored at 3/4 of an inch all the way around. So 3/4 on each side. And then this is just a piece of scrap for us to cut out a couple circles. And then we have, I think I already said, this is just a 1/2 inch by 11. So pretty cute project. You guys will have to tell me. I think a long time ago, it's got to be 5 years. I think I made these, but this is great for a small like party favor. So if you're ever in charge of the, table settings or something for the kids, this is something I think that they would really like. You could fill it with candy. It's even nice. You could actually fill it with really any, anything you wanted. You could fill it with, jewelry. You're going to see the size of it. So now we're going to bend these down and we're going to go ahead and adhere each one of these corners to the inside. So we'll start with these two. And again, we're just going to, like we did yesterday with a box, just make sure that that the corners are lined up so the edge is nice and flush. And that'll just make it so everything else fits nice and evenly around it. And then we're going to go over here and do the exact same thing. I'm going to put a little glue on there. And then we're just going to make sure, again, that everything is lined up nice and straight there. And we'll just pinch those together. Oops. I'm going to move this camera's a little bit at an angle there. It's like we're all sitting sideways. There we go. I think that's a little better. All right. So there we go. So it makes this cute little box. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take this piece of designer series paper and we are just going to run it along the entire edge, just like that, of our box. Now I would suggest that you probably start in kind of the back and in the middle, or on one of the small sides. So wherever you prefer, and maybe actually on the side might actually be better. So what we're going to do is we are going to put some tear and tape around this. And the reason I say is because although I love adhesive, like the Tombow glue, my only concern for this project is it's a little hard to keep everything in place while you're wrapping the piece of paper around. And this will hopefully keep it a little bit more sturdy. Okay, so we're just going to put some tear and tape right there. And then we are just going to make sure that it's rubbed down pretty good. And we're going to take your pick tool here, and we're going to take the little pointy end, and we are just going to peel this off. I find if you can get under the edge like that, then everything will peel nicely. So you think you could go along the side, but you have to go along the side. Okay, I almost got that in there. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure my paper is going the appropriate direction so the birds are not upside down. And now what we're going to do is right on the edge, but again, I want to bring it up some. I'm just going to line my box right to the edge. Now, it doesn't have to be like exactly on the edge, but you don't want it to go like past the end of the box, if that makes sense. All right, so now we're just going to curl this piece up here. And then I'm going to take this side And I'm going to bring it up. And again, keeping it straight along the edge. Because remember, when you do the tear and tape, it's kind of stuck on there, you know. All right. And then we're just going to take it around again. Now, if it's not completely perfect on the edge, that's okay, because we are going to be fixing that with our piece of paper. All right, so there we go. So now we have this nice piece, and just go around, and I would say just kind of press it in, make sure it's nice and even. You can even kind of pull up those sides a little bit. And then the rest of it here, we are going to add a piece of tear and tape right along the edge. Now, probably you could do that ahead of time if you'd like. That way it might be a little easier. And that's going to fold that whole side right down. So we're just going to go from the very bottom there and just take it all along the edge. And take that right off. And then we're going to take this piece again. I'm going to need that little tool. And we're just going to go right underneath it. All right, there we go. And now we're just going to lay that right down on the end. And there you have it. So this is our nice little box so far. And now what we're going to do is we are going to take this piece of cardstock and we're going to run it along the edge of our box. Just right down here, we're just going to take it and do the exact same thing that we just did. And we're going to run it all the way along the edge. Now this one, I think you can do just with some regular adhesive. It's up to you guys. You can go ahead and use the tear and tape again. But I'm going to go ahead and use liquid glue. This could be bad, but I think we can do it. All right, so we're just going to run it right across here. And again, just adding a nice sturdy border to the end of it. Now it can be a different color. This one, of course, I'm still using the blue, Night of Navy. Okay, and now I'm going to run it along here as well. Just run it along the edge of the box here. And then again, I'm just going to fold it along the edge there. I'm kind of holding it down as I go. And then we're going to go right along this edge. And let's get our adhesive and put it right along that edge. So you can get, if you think 3 by 5, you can get 4 of the bottom of these boxes in off of just one piece of cardstock. And you know, these 1/2-inch strips, I'm sure if you guys cut paper down, that's, you know, like for the inside of a card or something like that, you're going to easily have a lot of those. All right. So this is what we have so far. Yay. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take a 1/2-inch punch and we are just going to punch out kind of in the middle here. We're just going to punch out half of a circle, and then we're going to go the other side and do the same thing. And we're just going to punch out a half of a circle there. If you guys line it up in the middle, it's going to be totally fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of paper and we are going to cut out 2 1/2-inch circles. So I'm going to take this all the way up until it stops. Okay. And then I'm going to punch that out, and then I'm going to go to the other side and come down just a little bit more, because I need to make sure I can get 2 on this piece of paper. So, and this is, I think 5.5 by 4 1/4. Now I'm going to take my 2-inch punch and I'm going to go right back over those. And you can see all I'm doing is making like a loop. So I'm going to make sure I get it centered as much as I can. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. There we go. And then I am just going to put these right on the outside. Now, probably, I might want 2 of those. So let's see. I have a piece of, I do. So let me grab another piece of Night of Navy. Oh, I thought I had. Maybe I don't. Nope, I do not. Okay. That's okay. We'll just do it like this. We'll just do one side. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this right here along the edge. So I'm just going to put some adhesive, and probably it's better to do it right on your, that way you don't go too high up. And I am just going to put that right here for my handle. Look at that. So I would suggest you do 4 rings, not just 2. And then we're going to turn it over and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to go down and around. And then we're going to add this little guy right here. And that way, now we have these 2 super cool little handles. And now we have our little purse. So I would definitely do another one on each side. I thought I had some other Night of Navy here, but I don't. And I'm not sure I can get 2 more out of the piece that we had. I'm pretty sure I can't. So now what you could do is wrap some ribbon around it. So we're going to just add a little bit of ribbon. And we're actually going to add this linen thread. And I'm just going to wrap it around one of the handles here. So I'm going to double it up, tie a nice bow, and add that right to the corner. And then we'll have a super cute bow on the side. And this linen thread goes so nicely with this right here. So we'll just pop this right here on the edge, and then we'll add a few little gems as well. So we'll put this on with the glue dot. But you guys could add a tag. This would be great. If you wanted to put like a little tag on it, you know, Merry Christmas, or you could do it in fall paper and make it something for Thanksgiving. If you go to a nursing home, wouldn't these be cute? You could fill them with candy, or, you know, even like a little thing of tissues, you could put that in there. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add just a couple little gems to this. So let me find our other pack of gems here. And we will take some of these really small green ones, and we're just going to put a couple on each side, just like that. And then we're going to turn it around and do the same thing. And we'll put them around the same the same area. All right. Oops. So there you have it. Isn't that cute? I just love it. I think it's such a cute little gift. And you can use that same like design, but create multiple little bags. So that is our 3D project that we have. And when I take photos, I'll actually do another blue ring around here just so you guys can see how that goes. All right, we are down to one more project, and this is our fun fold. And this is a easy card to duplicate. And there's not that many pieces to it. So we have a piece of 5.5 by 4 1/4. So this is just one single panel. Then we have a piece that is 5 1/4 by 4 in our designer series paper. Then we have a piece that is 6 inches by 2.5, and it's scored at a 1/2 inch mark there. And this is gray granite is the paper that we're using. And then you have a piece of designer series paper that's 4 1/4 by 5.5. Or I'm sorry, 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. Phew, 2 1/4 by 5, or 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. Wow. Okay, and then we have 2 deckled circles, one in gray granite and then one with a little red bird. And then we have a piece of basic white that's 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then we have a piece that's 1 inch by 3.5. So those are the pieces. All right, so the piece of DSP that I kept messing up on is 2.5 by 5 1/4. It is the same width and as this piece right here. All right, so what we're going to do is the first thing is we're going to take this tab and we're going to put adhesive on it. And we are going to line this right up at the top of our card base. So in the center and at the top, we're just going to take that tab and we're just going to adhere that down. And again, we're going to want to go to the top and just make sure that it's nice and lined up. So we don't want it to go over and we don't want it to go under, be too far below. I'm going to just grab a baby wipe here. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that that's down all the way. Okay. Then we're going to take our piece of designer series paper and we're going to adhere this right over top. So that little bit of glue that we have sticking out there, it's okay. It doesn't matter. We're going to be able to put this right over top. And no one's even going to know that that little piece is there, because they're going to be so mesmerized with your beautiful card. Now we're going to take this piece and we are going to put it on the front. And this is what I love about this card layout. We're going to line it up so it's exactly equal to our other designer series paper. So when you adhere it, and I'm going to just take my bone folder really quickly and just run over that so that it's nice and flat. Okay, so we're just going to take our piece of designer series paper. And oops, let me get that back up there. And we're going to go ahead and just line it up right so that it's even with the other designer series paper. And then we're going to check it at the bottom and it should be right over top of the piece of cardstock. It's almost like a little magic door, but it's somewhat elevated. So now when we open it, look at that. It is super cool. And with this kind of paper, it makes it so easy. All right, so now on this right here, on our piece of basic white, what we're going to do is we are going to stamp our one single bird image, and we're going to color it because I do want to show you guys how to color that in. So I'm going to take a piece of this white that I have, just in case this gets a little bit too dark here. I think I've got it good enough. Let me just double check here. Yeah, I don't want it to be quite that dark. Okay, so we're just gonna do that, and then we're gonna go ahead and put our bird right there at the bottom. And now we are going to color him in. Let's get this out of the way. So we're going to take our Stampin' blends. Now we have one other little trick that we're going to do here as well. So we have real red, and I brought a light lovely lipstick, which is honestly out of date. But it's gonna, and then I have dark red. So I'm going to start with dark red, and I'm going to color in the little berries. And I'm just going to go a little bit around the bird here in the dark red, because the other color is lighter than this. And a lot of times too, when you're using markers, you can take and just use the darkest color to kind of highlight the area. Now, I wouldn't worry about his feet, because we actually are going to be tearing this a little bit. So giving away the secret. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and color his beak. And then the rest, we're going to kind of go along his little belly here. And then in the middle part, I'm going to go out to his tail here. And then we're going to take the rest and we're going to do it in this kind of lighter pink color. And remember, just go over the color that you had before, and then that is going to start blending in all your colors. And we'll get around his eye there. The bullet end is definitely the end that I would use. It's funny because that was my intention, and then I did his tail, and you'll see it's kind of a little chopped off there. So that wasn't really good. And I'll tell you, if you have time when you're coloring, it is so relaxing. Now, if you guys find that some of it doesn't look like it's blending too well, I would just take your marker back and go back over it, and then go back with your light color. And don't forget too that it will invariably, as it dries, it will lighten up, and it will also blend better. So sometimes you have to give it just a little bit of time. Okay, and remember, always do your coloring before you adhere, because remember, it goes through because it's alcohol markers. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to tear along this edge. So it's really just to give it kind of a little bit of a different look. So now we're going to bring our card back in, and we are going to adhere it at the very top so it lines up with our designer paper, and then it's just going to be right down here at the, you know, it'll fall along the bottom. So now we're going to take this, line it right up there, and this is again a 1/4 inch smaller. You could make it the exact width as the top, but it's just a little harder to line up. So I do make cards that are almost exact, but it's a little scary then. Look at that. Okay, now we're going to take our piece that is for the front, and we are just going to add some adhesive here and put this right on our circle. These are both cut out using those deckled circle dies. You get like 12 different, I think it's 12. It might even, I don't know, it might be 10 or, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot. All right, and we're going to put that right in the middle, and we will add that with a few dimensionals here. Let me make sure I have it going the right direction. And you can't go too far off because the circle's bigger than the rest of the card there. And we are just going to attach that right in the middle, making sure that we get it even on both sides. And then we're going to add just a little bit of our green twine here. I truly am loving this twine, and we will just tie a double bow. There we go. And make sure, there we go. And we will just cut this off there, and oops, hello. Kind of got a little carried away. All right, there we go. Cut it right there. And now we'll adhere this on with our glue dot, and we'll get this a little bit more even. There we go. Right, we were outside pulling weeds. I am just now looking and seeing how dirty my fingers are, you guys. Yay, yay, yay. All right, and we're just going to add that right there. And then we're going to add our sentiment. So we're going to take our strip here, and we are going to choose the Thinking of You, and we're just going to add that to the center here. And we will use our early espresso. And I'm going to pull this toward me here just so I can make sure I line it up. Hopefully line it up. All right. There we go. And then, again, I think while we're at it, we will just use our punch here to punch out the sides to give it a little bit of a edge. And I'm kind of really liking this this new way to flag the ends. And then we're going to just put that right there at the bottom. So we'll just adhere that. Again, this is a little bigger than the rest of it, so we don't want it to go too far down, but we'll just do it like that. Make sure it's even across the sides. And I'm going to just kind of tuck it under a little bit there as well. And then we're going to add, again, a couple of our gems here. And let me see. I think we're going to use these. I think I might. I realize it's kind of a different color green here, but I think it actually goes pretty well. So I'm gonna put one there, and then we'll put one up in like right, yeah, maybe right here. All right, there we go, you guys. There are our 3 projects. So let me pull those back in. So we have our card, our fun fold, which opens up, and we have our nice little red bird in there. Then we have our other card that was our template that we just turned it sideways, and we used some of that designer series paper and this pretty, and then the little border. And then we have our adorable, oh, let me get those back in there. And then we have our cute little purse there that we can fill. So those are our 3, move them like this. Those are our 3 projects for today. So remember, if you guys haven't signed up for my mailing list, please be sure to do that. The other thing is, I found this out this morning. Someone sent me an email. When you sign up, I had it set that you had to confirm your email. So it sent you a confirmation email, and then you had to confirm that you wanted to be part of it, because you can't just spam people. So you might want to check your junk mail if you signed up and for some reason you did not confirm your email. I've turned that feature off, but I just wanted to let you know. So if you decide that you want to be on the mailing list so that you can get the measurements for everything for this week, I did send an email to everyone who had not responded yet. I sent you just a regular email with the attachments, but I can't do that. I won't probably do that again. So if you're having trouble, let me know, and I will see if I can kind of resolve it on my end. But anyhow, so that was it. I just wanted to let you guys know that in case you did sign up and you're not getting the documents. I definitely want to make sure that you're getting those PDFs with all the measurements, the correct measurements. All right. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.